What? You! The Vestal and her little... How are you here? Is no one under me competent? Oh, fine. My fire will make ash of the lot of you!
What? Ominous, our orders are to take the Vestal alive! Besides, if you loosed your spells in here, you'd...
I'll show you! I'll show you all! Fire! No!
He's attacking his own people!
Madness! This sort of indiscriminate slaughter cannot be allowed! Black Mage Ominous Crow! I'm at my patience end! This absolutely does it! You've sent me into a full rage!
What? You're turning traitor? You'll make...
This has nothing to do with him. All that I hold true denies everything that you are. You there. You'll be helping me.
Who? Us? But...
Would be delighted to assist you, milady. I'll see you victorious, or my name isn't ringable. Well, maybe not my real name, but certainly my... Anyway, what's in a name? Real? Don't you agree, Edie?
What? How did... Enough. Conversation can wait.
Ah, enough! No more! I'll not be made a fool any longer! I'll see you all charred black! I swear it! What? You! The Vestal and her little friends!
I've done it now. Treason is one of those tricky things to forgive. Still, I've no regrets. My conscience spoke and I followed it. Into the life of a deserter, it seems. I trust there's room in your little band for one more?
Indeed. It was sorely incomplete without you.
Unacceptable! What bond of trust can exist between a Sky Knight of the Duchy and a Vestal?
So this is the Vestal of Wind. A black-hearted witch, as the tales I was raised on go. But of late, it seems things are rarely cut quite so cleanly. Behaving as the Sky Knights did makes a person wicked. That lot is black as they come. And what other lies have I been told then? The only thing for it is to see for myself. What is black? And what is white? Your actions will tell me the color of your heart, Vestal. And I plan to watch up close. So I suggest you get used to me.
That was... rational?
I'm always rational. That scum crow just had me seeing red before.
Ah, the type whose claws come out when she gets hot-headed. I'll jot down a note not to anger you.
What do you make of them, Tiz? Can these two be trusted?
They don't seem like bad people to me.
Yes, but how a thing seems and how a thing truly is often differs.
Hold a moment, Agnes. My journal offers a curious quote. The Vestal and crew commandeered the SK ship. With
And what are we to make of that?
that, we're about to steal ourselves an airship.
Just what is that book of yours?
Up there, isn't that... Huh. Speak of the flying devils.
Will they turn their cannons on us?
Not by that course. They make south.
The city? They can't mean to start that up again!
Let's hurry!
Oh, why is this happening? You'll give us the Vestal of Wind. Or, if you prefer, I can come down and pluck her from the last building I leave standing. The choice is yours, entirely.
You've a choice yourself. Leave now, or face me. Owen, Captain of the Caldislan Royal Guard.
Knight Arjun Heinkel, Knights Captain of the Eternian Sky. The stories paint you Caldisla's greatest hero. I hope you will not disappoint me.
The entire Royal Guard wiped out?
By the Sky Knight's captain alone. He's...
Hey! Hold on, man! Please!
He speaks of Knight Argent Heinkel. I can't imagine the captain's come here himself, though.
Owen!
I'm...
Someone help!
Don't bother. Leave me. The king, they took His Majesty. That man, Heinkel, I ask this knowing it's an unreasonable demand. Please, help my king. Save this place. You're the only one I can...
I'll bring the king back. I swear it. Be at peace, Owen.
Thank you.
My son. He died for his king, though, huh? A brave warrior's death. I'm sure he had no regrets. I thank you for being with him at the end. Now, pray, rest up. Consider this your home. I'll be outside a moment.
These people are innocent bystanders. Involving them like this is despicable. Come, let's march on the Lontano Villa this instant. I'll lead the way. Why the silence? Surely you can't just sit by and let Heinkel's crimes stand.
Heinkel's crimes are the Duchy's crimes. You are a part of those same Eternian forces. We cannot trust you.
What? I'm not! What must I do to prove myself to you?
You cannot. In my heart of hearts, you frighten me. The same as Crow, or Heinkel, or the others. I am sorry, but I make for the villa with Tiz alone.
Murgurgur. Of all the stubborn... Oh! You crystal-headed girl!
Leaving so soon? If you're off to Stargaze, I'd be honored to join.
Out of my way! Contrary, crystal-headed girl! Why must she refuse to understand? Oh, I'm...
Hello, child. Will you listen to an old man talk a while?
What? Oh, yes, of course.
You'd be hard-pressed to find a frailer child than Owen. The boy was sickly all his youth. But he loved this land more than anyone. He wanted more than anything to defend it. So even after he joined the Royal Guard, even after winning half the honors the king can bestow, he trained, and everyone knew it. In a few years, his efforts had made him captain. The boy was something else, but I'd rather he lived. What sort of child dies before his parents? It's a crime, don't you think?
It's terrible, sir.
If the boy had stayed home, taken over the inn.
What other lies have I been told? The only thing for it?
A question, Agnes. Why can you not trust at least me? The suspicions of a beautiful lady are dire poison to a gentleman such as myself.
Our paths part with Adia's here. What reason have you to come with us?
Will the two of you be enough to storm the enemy's hold, though? This knight is supposed to be terribly strong.
Still, we've no choice. Let's go, Agnes.
We're all ready to go? Excellent.
I had thought I spoke it clear before. This is farewell.
Yes, it was all very well put, but I'm coming along anyway. I'll get no sleep till I've seen these scoundrels squished. What's more, the Lontano Villa is heavily fortified. A field mouse couldn't slip inside, let alone you two. Go with me, however, and you'll have VIP access. Use me. I welcome it. So please.
I'm all for it. The more allies, the better, I say.
Well, I do not. Even before the matter of trust, I cannot involve anyone more. The fault for all of this is mine and no one else's.
You've no cause for worry, Agnes. I guarantee it. You, Tiz, and Idia will travel long and far together. Its pages are prophecy, infallible and true.
And what of you?
Me? An apt question. It seems I did not merit mention. A grave oversight, I'm sure. Or am I to miss out on the adventure? A crueler fate than I could bear.
What? You're so odd, Ring-a-Bell.
I'm in favor of taking them with us, too. I think they'll be a help to you, Agnes.
As long as you're certain.
Done. Excellent. Let's be off. takes care of the hold gates. Now we've a clear path to the villa. Let me make this very clear, though. If you've any thoughts of storming the place head-on, be rid of them now. I'll say I've taken you prisoner. That will buy us entry. Once we're inside, the battle's all but won. I even know where the king is likely held. Complaints?
No. I thank you for your assistance. I have my doubts, but I see no alternative.
Once we find the king, we'll hop aboard their ship and escape by air. How very dramatic.
Lady Adia, where have you been? We've lost contact with Master Crow. Wait, that woman! The Vestal of Wind!
Yes, and my prisoner besides. Now, if you'll open the gate, I'll bring her to the captain.
But what of Crow?
I'm afraid he fell before the wicked Vestal's cruel magic. But it was his sacrifice that allowed for her capture.
I see. Well, I am glad Milady is safe. I should expect no less from the Grand Marshal's daughter. I'll have the gate open straight away. Just a moment.
Now, no need to glare. There, see? Inside without a hitch. Thanks.
We need to find the king.
Hey! It's the traitor! Grab her!
News travels fast.
Some brilliant plan.
seems we weathered the immediate storm. I'm afraid our little ruse...
Yes, well...
Yes, right in the middle of the enemy stronghold.
You can't think this was my intention! I swear by my honor, this is no trap! That's the very sort of craven act I can't abide! Right!
'Tis? Come to save us the trouble of finding you, Vestal? How very courteous. And just what are you doing here, Adia?
I'll go along with the Sky Knight's methods no longer.
You've no say in the matter. Defying orders is treason, girl!
Enough! You have us! Let the king go!
First, the Vestal come.
You mustn't! I'll not keep my head at the cost of an innocent girl!
You'll not keep your head at all if you keep running your mouth.
Heinkel, you were among the highest regarded warriors in the duchy. A paragon of chivalry. And the Sky Knights beneath you? I grew up on the tales of their brave and righteous deeds. But what I saw was a band of craven thugs. You defiled the title of knight!
Green fool! All hands! Seize these four! Kill the men if you must! Such valor! You're quite the little hero. And here I so hope to resolve this peacefully, and let the good king go.
Heinkel. This is your answer? And as daughter to a true knight, I know their pride is staked upon fair and honorable combat. Release your hostage! Then stand and face us!
Ah! You invoke your father after...
He's headed for the airship!
That makes no sense. What? His aim is the Vestal, not the king.
He's baiting us?
Still, we have to give chase. We'll lose him.
Well, I'm game to brave.
I'm following you.
Agnes, let's go!
Right.
Ah, good. You came. This ship is a prison you entered willingly. Nowhere to run now, save really. I must thank you for taking the bait so eager. It's earned you a lavish cruise through the clouds, Vestal. And for your friends, a career as...
You're a prisoner here, same as us! No more tricks, Heinkel!
A knight without chivalry is a common bully. I'll see you stripped of that title here in...
You wouldn't test your elders, girl. I thought to bring you home in chains. But all but the Vestal will end here as dew upon my blade. You'll die with the...
What's happening?
The airship! We're losing altitude! Idea, hurry! Me? I can't drive this thing!
What? You're a Sky Knight, aren't you?
Only Heinkel and the other officers knew how to pilot the ship.
Idea, might I ask you something?
What? Who cares about that? And
The Echelon, Galleon-class airship, am I correct?
yes, but how? Is that in your...
Indeed it is.
But you have no memory. When would...
Ah, so this goes here. That gets turned like...
Wait, is he... We're...
Of course we are. I'm a crack pilot, apparently. Now find something to hold on to!
The kingdom of Kaldisla owes you all of... you... A nightmare was visited upon you and your home, and I'm certain your feats have earned Owen a peace. If you are willing, I would gladly see you take up his sword.
You honor me, Your Highness. But I cannot... I've promised on Yes that I'll join her on her journey.
Kaldisla shall be poorer for losing you. Know that the Eternian airship is yours to use as you will. There's not a man in the kingdom able to pilot it. I leave the matter of that horrible chasm to you. I have faith you'll... May the crystals keep you in...
seems I've found a reason to come along. Now, my ladies, all you need do is simply speak the word, and I shall whisk you off to the very ends of existence.
And you're really sure that wasn't just a fluke before?
Rest assured, my dear, I never fail to properly escort a lady.
Agnes, will you tell us why they were chasing you?
The Sky Knights are a branch of the Eternian forces. The Duchy of Eternia has put forth an agenda of anti-crystalism.
Anti-crystalism?
A new way of thinking, based upon the idea of a society no longer dependent upon the crystals. It brands the crystal orthodoxy as a heretic faith, and the Vestals its minions. It was the philosophy I was raised upon. When the chasm appeared, every one of the Eternian forces was given the order to capture them. They said the Vestals and the crystals they tend were the sinkhole's cause.
That's not possible! Agnes has been fighting this whole time to fix what happened to Norende.
I know. I'm sorry.
You've nothing to apologize for.
All of this paints the Duchy in a suspicious light, don't you think? Perhaps they know more of the chasm's true cause than they let on.
I cannot imagine we've seen the last of them. If any of you wish to go, do it now. I'll not blame you.
I'm staying with you. I just told the king as much.
I'm in as well. I need to see for myself whether my people are right or wrong.
And playing escort is my job.
If none of you will listen to reason...
This is so exciting, Agnes! You're finally headed back to the Wind Crystal side!
Yes, to Anshine, the land of sand and time, and to the Temple of Wind.
Anshine, the land of sand and time? What's it like there?
Like an oasis in a vast desert beyond the sea. We make southeast of here.
We've arrived in Anshine.
Still no wind.
Are these desert places normally supposed to be?
When they're the site of the Wind Crystal they are, this stillness shouldn't be possible.
The wind carried all manner of blessings to this land in days past. It was the...
I see. All the more reason to hurry then. Which way to the temple?
From here we need only head... we ought to make for...
Ignore anything she says. Agnes?
I'm impressed you made it to Kaldisla.
Just a moment. My journal details much of Ansheim's topography. A clockwork metropolis, nestled in Harina's sandy bosom. Here, time, above all, is sacred. A massive timepiece crowns the kingdom, fueled as all of Ansheim by the ceaseless currents originating from the Temple of Wind to the south.
Quite thorough, isn't it? Sounds as if you've been here before.
I do seem possessed of a certain wanderlust. The normal sort as well. Ooh, perhaps I'll find a train of
Let's be off. We may...
All present, Lord Marshal.
No matter. Let's begin.
I trust word has reached you from Kaldisla. The Knights of the Eternian Sky have fallen to the Vestal.
I'd not thought the girl so bloodthirsty as all that.
It appears she surrounded herself with capable guards. What's more, it pains me to say it, but Idia's whereabouts...
That is no concern of yours. Do not confuse personal matters with your assigned task, Alternus.
My apologies, Lord Marshal.
Not only did the Sky Knights fail, they've given the Vestal wings. Why they didn't simply kill the child, I'll never know.
Keenly insightful as ever, Victoria. Yet I fear we've need...
Have we, Victor? Bah! No, if she fled by air, it's a simple matter to track her. She makes for Anshine by...
And to the Temple of Wind. Anshine does face upon the Floorshine Sea.
Of course. Most of the world's seas have gone putrid, but the inner sea remains navigable. But what does she aim to do there? Why return to the crystal now?
Anshine is the province of the Cammer and Profiteur merchantry. What say you, Lord?
We haven't the leisure of chasing the Vestal across the globe, and we need her in custody now. Tell the merchantry to employ
Apprehend the Vestal by any means necessary. Seems the Council of Six is
Those were their words. I've relayed them to you. My contract states I'm to receive payment for my troubles from you.
Then your contract is mistaken. I've heard nothing of the sort. Bah, fine. You'll have your fee. But I am taking the small discount.
If you must.
Still, this Vestal is quite the little monster, no? To have this Sky Knight. If the margin is high enough, I would tackle a behemoth bare-handed. But until I see a profit, I'll not move an inch. Business is business, yeah?
Silence, one and all! Your king, Cammer the Eighth!
My people, I thank you for your tireless efforts. As you are well aware, our glorious nation's production has suffered a harsh fall since the wind's cessation brought the... Without nature's form of bounty, our turbines went completely still. In the wake of this crisis, you rose up and took matters lit. I, your king, lack words to thank you for your hard work. However, I am much aggrieved to say that energy production is less than one. At this rate, our proud kingdom, renowned for its unparalleled... I find myself without recourse but to revisit my prior fiat regarding the schedule. Henceforth, labor shall commence at 0900 hours and will extend beyond the current 1659 until 2059, effective in...
What? We're flesh and blood! We need rest!
In so doing, turbine output is expected to rise to 30% of its...
Your Majesty! Your Majesty! grave news.
What? Be calm, my children. I know your pain, but I ask that you join me in remembering the cause of the Crystal Orthodoxy and the Vestal's indolence. Therein lies the true cause of the... And what has the Great Vestal done since the air went still? What did she do in the face of your suffering? She abandoned you, fled the country to save herself alone. In this, Ansheim's first and direst hour of need, though it pains me deeply to tell you of what resolution can be brought about to this terrible crisis. The Crystal Orthodoxy is naught but a hollow creed. What result have years of worship at the altar of the Crystal brought us? Once more I say it. It is by our own hands that we shall push this glorious kingdom ever forward.
There! Just now, that leer! That...
Seems that little speech was for your benefit, Agnes.
It's slander is what it is. That creep's giving you no chance at all.
Agnes.
Agnes oblige, Vestal of Wind, His Majesty.
Ah, I see you've returned, Vestal. Why then did you... I was dreadfully worried, you know. I'd begun to think you'd fallen victim to... So, what of the Caldisla?
I fear it was worse even than your
So tell me, was it worse than the state of your own nation?
The wind remains still.
And the Grand Mill be calmed. I'm pleased to see you're not the turbines that form the heart of this kingdom, the greatest symbols of her wisdom. Now, the hands of our citizens, compulsory labor service. Our survival hinges now upon their sacrifice. And even that will not last forever. We need that mill turning again soon. Not by our citizens' hand. And whose job is it to see that the wind... I can think of no other value you provide. Anyway... Will you now end the suffering your negligence has... Or is that beyond your abilities? Perhaps you would sooner run again. Turn away from the plight of your people.
If that is all His Majesty wished to say, I'll be on my... I haven't the time to waste here.
What? I'll not be spoken to like this! Just whose fault do you think this mess is?
That could have gone better. Not that I blame you for getting mad.
Mad? I felt no anger. Only...
His tone was far from pleasant, but he didn't...
The people who had come to hear him speak frightened me the same. Everyone in this city, they see me only as the Vestal, not a human being. I don't just... Thinking on it sets my legs to trembling.
That explains the tense look you've worn since we've landed here.
Personally, I felt amazing after that little conversation. Did you see his face? It was perfect.
I tuned him out about halfway through his speech myself. I never did have much attention span for listening to men go on. Now women...
In any case, we'd best hurry to the temple. It's all that I can do.
feel that?
Monsters.
Inside the temple? What happened to this place, Agnes?
The crystal of wind was swallowed up in darkness.
Darkness.
Yes, at the chasm in Kaldisla. It opened at the same time, and the dark that consumed it continues to breed more dark. I expect that font of shadows is to blame for drawing.
Not good.
Yet we've no choice. Keep vigilant as we proceed. A moment.
What's all this on the floor?
The Crystallist Scriptures.
Oh, what sort of thing?
Dauntless Seeker, offer your prayers unto the crystals. So too shall their resplendent light shall cleave a path through darkest night, and banish. The Scriptures have been passed down through more than 2 millennia, since the founding of the Orthodoxy. The excerpt I gave is among them.
I've heard it. from one of the old shepherds.
It's that famous then? I've never read them, nor heard them quoted.
It looks as if someone tried to carry them away from me.
The acolytes. They were women of exceptional faith. I expect they came here to—
This stain upon the floor.
This is terrible.
It's like a storm swept through in the middle of supper.
Yet, I haven't the leisure to send them on, or to mourn them. I'm not allowed even the luxury of grief. They sacrificed themselves that I might protect the crystal. I'll not betray them, I swear it. No matter what happens.
Surely you can allow yourself to grieve.
I pray for them, that they may know peace. But for now, I must press onward. The crystal altar is just beyond. Follow me.
It's enormous!
Even hearing the stories, I'd never expect it.
No! Its light is dimmer still than when I've watched over the crystal all my life, but this...
We need to release it from the darkness! Agnes! You know what to do, don't—
The Mother Vestal, my predecessor, showed me as a child. A right to cleanse the crystal of any evil I'm to sharpen my focus to a single point and align my breathing to the thrum of every Vestal to come before me has poured her prayers into the crystal. The time has come to draw upon that store of will and awaken it.
You do your office proud!
The Vestal garb.
Right. Without that to serve as a conduit, you won't—
The Mother Vestal's was stored in the reliquary.
Lead the way. Once we have that, we can begin the rite.
That's the garb you need?
Yes, this is it.
Oh, look at it. It's in tatters.
And it may not serve its function in this state, yet...
What now, then? We can't perform the rite with...
Why not give it a try as is? Even without its sacred power, the frock is deliciously holy.
Stop talking, Ring-a-Bell.
If this garb is destroyed...
A set of holy vestments used in some miraculous ritual? Sure.
No, he's right. We must speak with the old sage of the Yuliana Woods. He has seen to the creation of the Vestal's garbs and other ceremonial tools for generations. I met him only once, as a small child together with the Mother Vestal. More than a decade has passed. I cannot say whether he is still there.
But if he can make us a new set of vestments, why are...
I've never heard of these woods. Where are they? How will we get...
I recall the forest being uncommonly dense. Also...
If it's large enough to float a ship, I'll land us there. Now, what of the ladies of Yuliana?
Ignore him. Can we be certain this lake hasn't rotted through like the oceans? That's not how I fancy...
Well, what does Ring-a-Bell's journal...
Let's have a look. Ah, the hidden heart of an ancient wood, northeast of Ansheim.
Given the book's owner, I half expected some note about the lack of women.
Women or no, that's our next destination.
Indeed, but since we're going, let's hope for ladies.
feels familiar. It's been ages, but this is it. We were here. The Mother Vestal,
Was that strange, distant groaning here then, too? Or am I...
You're not alone. The lack of women here is positively...
Though it seems someone lives here.
Hello?
I thought I heard something. This place draws few visitors, I fear, and so, to whom do I...
I am Agnes obliged, sir.
Little Aunt, you were scarce more than a little sprout when now look at you. A fine woman you've become.
Ugh, lovely. It's a Jerry.
Then you are indeed the sage I seek. I fear I do not remember your name, sir.
Oh, we are a lot alike in that, my dear. Sage will do just fine by me. At her heels, you. Thage, you'd call. A more charming little echo I've never heard.
Well, I am glad to have...
Feels rather good to hear a pretty young thing like you was looking for me. Seems I've... Now, you called yourself Vestal. I take it that means the last Vestal is...
Yes, sir. Her tenure as Vestal ended 5 years ago. Her life, a year later.
I see. She was fair, but firm. Very firm. She had taught curve...
We shall be needing an in-depth account, good sage. Also, a briefing on any...
Stop talking. Just...
You've quite the following, my dear. I had thought the Vestal's force...
These are... They are assisting...
Oh, assistants. I've kept you out here long enough. Come inside. I see. Well... You've been brave to come this far.
I'd not have managed on my own. I owe to...
Well, perhaps...
The harrowing?
The swelling dark is a harbinger, lad, as is the fall of the temples, the dulling...
It is the Vestal's calling to see that darkness purged. I must awaken the 4 crystals.
Awaken them?
Absolutely astonishing!
Huh?
I took the liberty of stealing a peek at the ladies' fashions you've assembled in the next room, good sir. Each is a beauty fit to outshine the next. Their allure had me spellbound. Spellbound, I tell you.
I'm impressed, a man of your skill.
I would gladly talk the night away with a man of yours.
They're a matched pair?
Ring a bell, please. We're in the middle of an important discussion.
As am I, my friend. This is art, romance. You'll come. And as I recall, we didn't come here to talk. We came to procure. While you were chatting, I searched. My efforts bore unexpected fruit, that's all.
So.
I have. The garb housed in the temple was lost to the darkness.
Those garbs are woven from rainbow thread. No.
And is this thread something you keep on hand?
I fear not. The Vestal to wear the garb must procure the thread. The last Vestal of Wind did so, as did her predecessor, and countless. Even had I the thread used to craft the last Vestal's garb, I could.
I understand. Tell me where I'm.
Of course, my child. But come. Oh, yes, if you girls would like.
Likewise.
Then let the two of us pass the night in ardent conversation.
Good morning. Dear, was it? How
What? Why should I cook?
Because a young beauty's home-cooked meal is far more appetizing than... Given her upbringing, I've grave doubts the Vestal could boil water, let alone cook. That...
Food can wait, Sage. Now the location of the rainbow thread, if you please.
And yes, jealous art?
The location of the rainbow thread, if you please.
You're no fun at all. Very well, then. I prepared a light. You'll find the rainbow thread very deep in a cave that is...